Happy Monday. It's a very, very rainy, wet. It looks like it would be cold, but it's actually not cold at all here in Dallas. But it looks like it should be a cold, rainy day. While we are waiting on folks to join, I don't know where that's coming from. Cooped Up is my website. You can visit that anytime you'd like a little hit of Cooper. You can also visit or follow me on all of the social platforms. I'm Cooped Up is my handle in all of the social places. In particular, love to follow on Instagrams if you were there. And wherever you watch or listen to this, this is aired live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and then restreamed in audio format on all the major podcasting platforms. So wherever you watch or listen to this, be sure to subscribe, click the bell, whatever the notification system is, so that you do not miss a second of the fun. Hey, Mama, good to see you. Hope you are doing well today. I missed y'all. So I was out. I did not broadcast on Thursday or Friday of last week. My week just kind of got out of control last week. Between family coming into town, my 25th college reunion, being out all day Friday for SMU alumni board meetings, because that was like 9 to 3:30, I think the meetings were. And then having the party, homecoming, hosting a baby shower at our house. I just was like, I need every minute I can spare. And so I unfortunately could not broadcast, but I have plenty to talk about today as a result. So I will start at the top. The 25th reunion for SMU went swimmingly. It was wonderful. My favorite part is being one of the youngest looking people there, if I do say so myself. It is one of those things. So a lot of people looked really good still. And it's funny how many people I've seen. So I've been on the committee every 5 years now, and I was co-chair of it this year for the reunion. So I've seen many of these people every 5 years or so at the longest, right? Typically it's the same group. It's about 100 people who show up. Our graduating class from SMU was only about 1,000. So 10%, I think that's pretty impressive. Showed up for our reunion. And it was at Ozona, which is one of the old haunts from the 90s when I was a student at SMU. We kind of did it there to kind of relive the heyday. But it was nice. Everyone looked wonderful. Well, most people look wonderful. There is a funny thing though. So you're in a room with all these people that you went to college with, and you're the same age as them, but you look around and you're like, am I the same age as you? Do we look the same age? Like, yeah. And I'm not naming names or anything, but there were a lot of people who I was like, if we took a photo together right now, I'm not sure we would be, other people would think we were the same age. I don't know if that means I look younger. It does. I don't know if it means I look older. It does. But here we are. And lots of good friends, though. Lots of catching up. Lots of hugs. Tears of laughter. I don't think I cried like tears of like sentimentality, but I know that we cried. We laughed so hard. And then I'm not gonna lie, I was a little hungover on Saturday morning. I think it was mostly because we got home at like 12:30 at night. And if you know Daddy Cooper here, I'm like a 9:30, 10 o'clock to bed person. So I'm not, that was really, really late for me. But it was worth it. We had a good time. Todd went. Todd actually did not realize he was going until earlier in the day. And I'm like, you've been to every other one. Why would you not go to this one? It's because his parents are in town and his sister and brother-in-law are in town also. And they're still here. They leave in the morning tomorrow. We hosted a baby shower for Nina, Todd's sister, yesterday. She used to live here in Dallas and for like 12 years or so. She worked for me. And so we hosted her baby shower for all of her Dallas friends, which were a lot of people that we knew also, because she used to live across the street from us in our old neighborhood. I don't know if y'all knew that. But so a lot of her friends are also friends with us. And so it was a great, fun time. Started at like 11, ended, I think the last person left at like 3:30. It was a good time. I actually did not drink until, when did I start drinking? Like at 3 o'clock. I waited till almost the very, very end. I just had my sassy Starbucks, kept drinking water most of the time. Partially because I'm not a very good day drinker. I know that probably comes as a shock to many of you, but I just get sleepy. And then when I get sleepy, I fall asleep, and then I'm surly. And it's just this vicious cycle. So I'm not a great day drinker. but also because I had a doctor's appointment today. And I'll finish that. I'll get to that thought in a moment. But because I had a doctor's appointment today, I was like, I need to make sure that I'm kind of behaving a little bit better than normal. I was not perfect. Progress, not perfection, right? That's the motto here. But I will tell you also, consider this an official endorsement, not paid though. If you were throwing an event at your house and you need an easy caterer, easy, and you live in Texas specifically or near Central Market is fantastic at catering. It's not super expensive. They deliver it the morning of. They bring it on. It's already on trays. They bring all the little tongs, all the little spoons, all that kind of stuff. Super easy peasy. We ordered these egg bakes, which are basically like quiche casserole kind of things. We ordered 2 of those. Fantastic. We ordered a lox tray. We did supplement it because we weren't sure how much lox to order. So we ordered theirs, and then we had some extra that we had some like little mini bagel bites that we toasted ourselves. What else? It was little tea sandwiches. They were fantastic. I could eat my weight in a pimento cheese sandwich. I will tell you that. I love pimento cheese sandwiches. Had those chicken salad sandwiches. Again, could eat my weight in them. And then turkey and cheese, I believe. I thought it was ham and cheese, but I think it was turkey and cheese. I did not particularly enjoy those, but other people said that they were fantastic. So I thought they were too like wet. I don't know what the right phrase is for that. And then what else? So we just had a good time, and yeah, and everyone left, and we cleaned up, and it was as if it had never happened. Kid's birthday party this weekend, Aaron is reporting in, was all catered by Central Market. Great selection. I agree. It was wonderful. We did go to Sam's and buy like the little bite-sized brownie bites, which you can get at Tom Thumb or any grocery store. Also, mini cinnamon rolls. And I did not want to order. Actually, I'm taking credit for this, but it was actually Todd who we wanted a mixed salad, but since that is one thing, Central Market was wanting to charge like $80 for this giant bowl of salad, and I'm like, we're not paying them $80 to put $5 or $10 worth of salad in a bowl. So we went to Tom Thumb and we just bought 2 big boxes of mixed greens, put them in. Todd whipped up a little homemade vinaigrette, and it was like easy peasy, really good. So consider that endorsement. I love it. Central Market Catering is the best. And then the biggest news of the week so far is I finally had my doctor's appointment. I don't know if you remember, but in August I had a scare where I went to the dentist, and the dentist said that my blood pressure was too high for them to be able to do dental work, like a teeth cleaning even, and that I needed to go to see my doctor about it and all that kind of stuff. And I did not have an existing primary care physician. My other one went concierge care, and then I just didn't establish really a new relationship after that. And I've just been bouncing like Primacares, Minute Clinic, that kind of thing, which I think a lot of people do. The more people I talk to, the more people I know, they do not have an established primary care physician. And I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I'm not making a value statement on either way on that. However, I did go in, and I had a very, very extensive physical about 5 years ago at the Cooper Clinic. And it is like they poke and prod you. They do a CAT scan of all your organs. Surprisingly, my liver was not gasping. They put a camera down your throat. They take your blood test. They can tell you every possible immunization that you've ever had, like, and the levels of it and all that kind of stuff, right? And so I did that. And so I felt pretty good about myself, but my blood pressure was not high when I had that done. It wasn't low. It was just on the high end of normal, right? I have since put on about 35, 40 pounds. Well, and then I've lost 15 of them now. I'm down about 15 pounds. I say I'm going to go for another 15 to 20. It may be more than that. Who knows? Who knows? So many people noticed it in my face, by the way, like how much weight I've lost. So I'm like, okay, well, that makes me feel good. I want to keep going now. Anyway, so I've just been kind of bouncing on just treating symptoms, using a kid's pediatrician as a doctor. Like if the kids have strep throat, I'll go in and take them in, and he always writes me a prescription for antibiotics in case I get strep throat, which never happens to me. I've actually only had strep, I think, once in my whole life. But other things, you catch it from your kids, and so I just fill the script then. And so I was like, okay, but I tried to make an appointment in August to set up a new doctor, and they were like, you got to wait until October. What is it? The 24th is the earliest we can get you in. So I went to it's called Uptown Physicians Group. It's a group of like gay doctors, gay patients, like all that kind of stuff. I know not everyone is this way, but I am. I had a bad experience with a doctor once who was like, "Why are you gay?" I saw him one time. It's like, "Why are you gay? You know you're going to catch AIDS, right?" And I was like, "Excuse me." So obviously, I didn't go back to him, but it spooked me about doctors. So now I try to make sure I go to a very LGBTQ affirming doctor, place, all of that kind of stuff. I thought the visit was great today, but I did come out of it. Well, there's two buts involved. If you know how men's physicals go, you know how what one part of it was. But the other was I walked out with a prescription for high blood pressure medicine. So now I am on, oh God, it's got like the longest name ever. It's actually 2 pills, or it's 1 pill, but like 2 medicines in one. I did Google it. It is, while I was waiting on the prescription to be filled, it is the highest prescribed one, or one of the highest, starts with an L, and then the ending is like initials or something. So, but I have to go back in 3 weeks so that he can check on how it goes. But I'm going to tell you, I didn't say this before because I didn't want to freak anybody out. I didn't want to freak my mama out. I didn't want to freak my sister out who watches all of this kind of stuff. My blood pressure was very high. And when I say very high, I'm saying it would be, if it, and Todd knew, and he actually was straight up freaked out. I don't know how many people he told, but he was, I was about 3 clicks shy of hang up and dial 911. Like, it was, my bottom number was like 118. If it's above 120, you're in hypertensive crisis. You need to go in. And then if the upper number is like over 170, and I was at like 168 or something, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I was like 2 clicks below on both of them. And I don't know how hard it is to jump a number and how much that fluctuates, but yeah, it was bad news. And so which is why I was kind of freaked out about having to wait 2 months for it also. But yes, Mom, that's the one. Lisinopril, and then it's got some initials after it, HQPX or something like that. Yes, that's the one. But I'm on meds now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little lightheaded right now because of them. And I was warned that would be the case, that when you first start blood pressure medicine, you get a little like, ooh, I'm feeling it right now. I could go take a nap at the moment. But getting going on that. I have to see him again in 3 weeks to check up, make sure that it actually has lowered. But I'm glad to be on a path, so thank y'all. Yeah. So, and Kelly is saying same thing happened. Her primary care physician went concierge, and I use Minute Clinic when I'm sick. That's totally what I'm doing. We also use Teladoc. That is something that actually I don't think enough people do. If you have insurance and your insurance has a Teladoc service, use that. We've started using that for things, especially if now that we have like temperature, like a good reader thing, and all of that, and the cameras, you can show them your throat and all that kind of stuff. And I have at-home strep tests now. Just buy them at Walmart or Amazon, and obviously the COVID tests and such too. But with that, Todd had a sty, and he called in, and they gave him an antibiotic for it, and just did a video call. I did it once with Claire. She had something, and it was after hours, and I didn't want to fuck with our pediatrician, so I did it, and they just called in a script for amoxicillin or something. So yes, so instead of Primacare and Teladoc, or instead of Primacare and Minute Clinic on that, I've actually started using the Teladoc a lot, which is good. And Aaron had the same thing, an extra $2,000 annually. And you know what? If I were like a sickly person, or if I were someone who like was just worried about like talking to a doctor all the time. The concierge thing actually sounds like a great deal. I have a friend, my friend Cam does it, and he like gets in like in a minute. Like it the benefit of it is it keeps the doctor's patient loads down so they can spend more time with each of the patients, right? That's the intention of it. His actually does process insurance, I believe, but a lot of them don't anymore. And that's where it gets complicated and it becomes out of network. He was still in network, or I don't know. So anyway, but he wasn't an LGBTQ affirming doctor. And so I wanted to go. I mean, I'm sitting in this waiting room and there's homosexuals, there's trans people. I mean, it was old. It was a gay pride parade in that waiting room. And Blake is saying that he's not been a while, and I can see what you can see hearts. I don't know what that means. And Monica is saying my blood pressure is so low, I question if I have a heart that beats. Well, that was the other reason Todd was worried, because I traditionally in life have had lower end blood pressure, and I think part of it was that that I am older, I'm heavier. I also think I have been salting food too much. One of the complaints I get from my children since I had COVID the first time is that I've been over salting food, because I still don't think my taste sensors are back 100%. But I'm having to just dial it back and realize maybe food just needs to not taste so good, so salty. I do love a salty thing. I'm the one who loves going into the pantry, grabbing the thing of Pringles, and eat from the Pringles as I'm grabbing the things I'm making and doing also. I'm a salty snack bitch right there. So, but yes, egads, glad. Thank you, Kelly. Yes, I'm glad I got it. And Mommy said, is it? Blake is asking, how was it, town? It was fine. You can't, I know you said them or Pounders. Dr. Pounders is not taking new patients anymore. And if you have not seen him in 2 years, you have to reestablish as a new patient, which means you don't get in. So Uptown Physicians Group is the only game town. They have like 8 doctors there. I think mine, Dr. Schmidt was the one I saw. He was a little cutie pie. Oh, you can see my thin face. Thank you. You can see this is not a filter. I'll tell you on this thin face thing, I was even surprised. I've seen some of the photos from the reunion parties that friends of mine were posting or have shared with me or whatever. And I was actually surprised by how thin my face looked in some of them too. I was like, is that edited? But I know it wasn't, because there was other things that should have been edited if it was put through a filter. So, but both of your parents were or on blood pressure medication. I think so. My understanding about society is all Americans are on blood pressure medicine once you hit about your late 40s. Like, I don't know a single person who, I mean, I'm obviously talking in broad swaths. I'm sure all y'all are like, I'm not on it. I'm not on it. I know a ton of people who are on blood pressure medicines. And the other thing one more thing about the doctor's office, because I had to have a bunch of blood work done. By the way, look at my little souvenir from the doctor's office, from the phlebologist or whatever they call them, the people who take your blood. Yeah, that part was fun. I had to fast starting at midnight last night, and my appointment was at 10:30 this morning. I had to fast in advance of that for blood sugar, all that kind of stuff. However, so I was starving. Because keep in mind, I've been eating like every 2 to 3 hours for the last 3 weeks on this diet and stuff. So I was starving, like wanting to eat my steering wheel of my car, starving. And get there, and unlike like when I went to the Cooper Clinic, the very first thing they do at the Cooper Clinic is take your blood. And then, which by the way, that physical at the Cooper Clinic with a discount was like $4,000. So I'm not advocating. It's good for peace of mind. Like one time, if you want to save up and just have it checked out. I think Governor Perry was sitting next to me in the waiting room there. There was some sheik from Saudi Arabia, like that kind of thing. However, the what was I saying? Oh, they take your blood first, and then they have like snacks and stuff that you can eat so that you can at least get some food back in your system. Today, I went through the whole damn appointment, and I was done at like 11. I got there at 10:30. I was done at 11:30. And that was when they took my blood, like at the very end. So I'm like, come on, Can we get this blood taken already? I'm starving. I took a granola bar with me so I could eat something because I was that hungry. So how much have you lost? Suzanne, I'm just going to keep you around forever and ever. You know I love you anyway, but how much have you lost, Cooper? You look fantastic. I have lost 15 pounds already. 15 pounds. 15 pounds. And I'm working on 15 more. That is my goal. My goal is to get to a number. I'm currently at like 212, something like that. My goal is to get to a number that starts with a 1, and I want it to be enough room where if I have a slider that it doesn't push me back into the 2s. I want a little like a 5-pound buffer. And I'm on the Octavia diet. I can tell you all about it, Suzanne, offline. It's working for me. Todd's trying it. He hates it. I actually don't mind it at all. It's super easy for me because you just eat a bunch of bars and Cheez-Its and all this all day, and somehow you lose weight. Now, I don't know if it's sustainable. I just want to look good for a little bit. But Blake is saying, get ready to pee all night on lists of blah, 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 blah. I was told about that, which is why he said take it early in the day. So, and definitely don't take it within 4 hours of going to bed, is what he said. Because the one of the drugs, part of it is it's an actual diuretic. And I did not realize this, but diuretics actually help lower your blood pressure. That is what the act of somehow peeing or something. I just did a quick research thing on it, but peeing a lot actually helps lower your blood pressure too. In which case, I could have been on the edge of death because I pee all the time anyway. Because I also drink like 4 of these a day. I drink over 100 ounces of water a day. And I like water. Thank goodness I actually like the flavor of water. I've been offline for 9 days. Your thinner thing was the first thing I noticed. Yay! Thank you, Raven. I'm very happy that this is the first place I lost weight. Now, it does make me mad that when you gain weight, your face is the last place you gain weight, because then you look in the mirror and you're like, well, where did that come from? And then you see all the rest of it. But yes, I'm very happy. Lisinopril. Thank you, Mom. That is helpful. I guess that's helpful. What else? Let's talk about Leslie Jordan. How sad, right? I'm sure y'all have heard by now Leslie Jordan, famous actor who played Beverly Leslie on Will and Grace and all that, had a car accident today and passed away. Based on what I've read so far, it appears that he either had a heart attack or a stroke while dying. He had some catastrophic medical event while driving his car, and then he plowed his BMW into a wall in Los Angeles. I'm not sure what killed him, if it was the crash or the heart attack or whatever, but he passed. He was 67 years old, a year younger than my dad was when he died. And just sad. And it is amazing how many people I know knew him and how many people I knew who had met him. We went to his show once. He was here. He was in Fort Worth, and he had this one-man show. And I think it was called Southern Baptist Sissies. Does that sound right? Or maybe that's something else. But anyway, I think that's what it was called. But it was something about growing up, Southern Baptist, little 4'11", little pocket person. He was hilarious, and everyone says he was so kind. Del Shores is devastated. Michelle is saying, I know you're friends with them. God, it just sucks. I had a friend an older man, who had a heart attack driving his Cadillac down Oaklawn Boulevard and plowed into a florist shop, and he ended up dying. And I still don't know if he died before he hit the florist shop or from the crash or whatever. But I think that might happen more often than we think. How crazy. Eric saw him perform in Dallas several years ago. He was phenomenal. Yes, he was so good. And just, that self-deprecating, I'm all about the self-deprecating humor. I just love that when people can take the things in their life that may not be ideal, that may not be what everyone wanted to be when they grew up, may not be how everyone wanted to live their childhood, or you didn't know any different at the time. But you look back now, and instead of being ashamed of it, you embrace it. That's my mantra on all of it. And he really took that to heart. So rest in peace, Leslie Jordan. Suzanne is saying she's also devastated by it. But yeah, so where do I go from there? Let's see. It's a short week for us. Oh, I voted today, by the way. Early voting in Texas started today. The legislature shortened it to only 12 days of available early voting. So it starts today. It runs this week, this weekend, next week, I believe, until Friday, maybe. Check the facts before you. Don't trust me on that. But I believe it's 2 full weekday weeks plus the weekend. Adds up to 12. That makes sense in my mind. And then the big election day is the Tuesday after that, like on the 3rd. Whatever day that is. But where is it the 3rd? No, not the 3rd. It's like the 10th. I think it's the 10th or the 11th, 10th or the 11th. So I voted today. I'll tell you, I'm not going to tell you who I voted for. I don't think it's any great guess who I voted for. But I'm not going to tell you that I voted only for Democrats this time. I voted for 2 Republicans this year also, because there's certain issues where I just do not think that my people are handling it well. And worst case scenario, we'll just try something else. And I know that's not normally the right thing, but so November 8th is election day. Thank y'all for the correction on that. So I did vote. So go vote today. If you are in Dallas County, I don't know how it works in other counties, but if you're in Dallas County, you can vote anywhere where they let you vote, and all you need is your driver's license. You do not need the voter registration card. I don't even know if they look at your voter registration card anymore. I just brought my driver's license, and I went to the Oaklawn Library because the doctor's office was really close to that. Got wet as a dog. You can see my hair is all jacked up from. I had to go to the grocery store a little bit ago too. And it is a short week for us here in the Koch household. The kids are off school on Friday because it is parent-teacher conference day, and I always book an early one. Not too early. I don't book like the 8 o'clock one, but I'll book like the 8:45 or 9 o'clock one because we're all up by then, and then I just want to get it done and out of the way. And then we have, Todd works, but the kids and I will take the day off, or I'll kind of pause my day a little bit. And then we have Lizzo. We're going to the Lizzo concert on Friday night. I'm excited about that. Kelly saying I vote all over the place, all kinds of letters checked. Yes, I typically vote for the person, but if I don't know the person, I will vote for the party. I'm not gonna lie. And Blake is backing me up. He voted there. It was busy at the Oaklawn Library. So busy. So I think that bodes well for certain candidates when it's busy. Eric is saying his sister-in-law's dad died of a heart attack while he was driving 4 blocks away from home. I mean, that just boggles my mind. And Monica knows of an older man who plowed into the back of a school bus. So, yeesh. And Eric is saying he's listening to me because the 4:45 parent didn't show up for their Zoom parent-teacher conference meeting. Yeah. Do public schools shut down for the day for parent-teacher conferences like private schools do? I think all private schools do that. And follow-up question, do all children have parent-teacher conferences, or is it only if there is a compelling need for it? Our school does actually at student-led conferences where the students, so Claire and Mason, have to lead the conference, and they make a presentation to us about what they're learning, what they're doing, what they think their strengths are, what they think they can improve upon, what they would like to talk about, and then they leave, and then we talk about them. But so yeah, and it's about I think we have about 40 minutes for each kid, and then they have a 20-minute break between so that they can, or something like that, so that they can reset. We do all of our kids, Eric is saying, in the public schools, but they are done after school. No, we shut the school down. And Diane Edwards is actually voting for one Republican. Gasp. My guess, Diane, if knowing how involved you are in a certain aspect of society and helping your neighborhood, I'm taking a guess that I know who you voted for and maybe crossed over in that one. And I'm telling you, that's one of the ones I crossed over for as well. Monica's saying in their public school, theirs closes. No one on the contact. I never received a call or email about Sterling. I have no idea what most of that meant, but I'm assuming it means that you only had to have meetings if you need to have meetings. Last thing I have on my card, and I'm going to go, is I have officially booked our trip to Egypt. On Friday, it became live that you could, I think Friday or maybe Thursday. And so we put the deposit down. So Toddy and I would love it if y'all wanted to join, are going to Egypt on a luxury river cruise of the Nile. And it is in January of 2024. So a full year and a couple of months. We're doing it to celebrate our 25th anniversary together. We celebrate our 25th anniversary the following month in February. We'll probably still have a party too. And so I'm very excited about that. Not everyone I'm related to is excited about us going to Egypt. And hell, there's a lot of gay people who are like, I can't believe that you're going to Egypt. Like, how do you promote? I'm like, if I had to worry about all the anti-LGBT places in the world, hell, I might not leave my house in Texas. So anyway, I think it's going to be a great trip. And we're going in a group, and it'll be fine. It'll be great. That's just what I'm telling myself, at least. So, all righty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. I think Diane, I knew it. I knew who you were voting for. That's who I did too. How could she do any worse than the other guy, right? Anyway, I've said too much. All righty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you were loved. I love that you watched this and allow me to externally process. This is my therapy every day. Take care of yourself. If you are in a place that is really wet today, stay dry, stay safe. Take your medicine. That's a new thing. I gotta set it on a little shelf in my bathroom so I don't forget it every day. And then I will see you tomorrow. Like I said, I'm a little lightheaded, so if I'm wandering, it's not booze. I'm just having water. Alrighty, I'll see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Talk to you later. Bye.